It's for Monday, the 8th of June 2020. President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday met behind closed doors with Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai at the presidential villa in Abuja. And while the agenda of the meeting between the president and Buratai was unknown as at the time of filing this report, feelers from the presidency gathered that the Chief of Army Staff would use the opportunity of the meeting to update the president on his recent mission to the battlefields in the northeast. Buratai had in April relocated to the northeast to coordinate the ongoing war against Boko Haram and the Islamic State's West African province terrorists by the Nigerian troops. Buratai, who lost his biological mother while battling the insurgents at Sambisa Forest, returned to Abuja on Sunday to brief the president on the progress report so far. Police in Lagos said they've arrested 185 suspected cultists terrorizing Ikorodu and environs and recovered 8 locally made pistols from the culprits during raids in the area in the last 2 weeks. Lagos State Police spokesman Bala Elkanah said the raids followed a directive from the Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Odumosu, to Special Strike Force on Social Miscreants to tackle the menace of cultism in Ikorodu district. Elkanah said the operatives launched an intelligence-driven operation that targeted top cult leaders and members, especially those who engaged in supremacy tussles that took lives, while most of the arrested suspects confessed to belonging to some of the dreaded cult groups that operate in the areas. A federal high court in Abuja had vacated the interim forfeiture order it made in relation to some assets the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) claimed belonged to ex-aviation minister Senator Stella Odua on October 18, 2019. The EFCC had applied for the interim forfeiture order in furtherance of its investigation of allegations that Odua diverted part of the 9.5 billion naira fund meant for the provision of security equipment in some airports during her tenure as aviation minister between 2012 and 2014, and allegedly connived with bank officials to divert the funds and use the money to produce broadcast equipment for Crystal Television Limited, newspaper printing press, 6 dredgers and a quarry. Justice Inyang Ekwu, in a judgment on Monday, held that the EFCC failed to establish a link between the assets and the ex-minister, and also struck out the counter affidavit filed against the motion to show cause filed by Crystal Television Limited and other companies affected by the interim order on the grounds that it was defective. The judge noted that the counter affidavit filed for the EFCC by its lawyer, Uai Uket, to rebut the company's claims was filed out of time without first seeking the court's leave for an extension of time to file, and proceeded to consider the case of the respondents Crystal Television Limited and other affected entities, and held that they have established the fact of ownership of the assets and have no link with the ex-minister. Candidates who participated in the just concluded 2020 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examinations can now print their result notification slips going by information disclosed in the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board's weekly bulletin on Monday in Abuja. The results, which had earlier been made available to candidates, can now be printed free from the board's website www.jamb.gov.ng, and all a candidate needs to do after visiting the site is to click on the quick links, fill in the required registration details, and the result notification slip would be displayed for printing. While stating that candidates can print their result notification slip anywhere in the country with internet access, the board clarified that it earlier restricted the printing of result notification slips and made the results available to the candidates only through SMS to avoid anxiety on the part of the candidates, as well as prevent clustering at cyber cafes with the attendant risk of COVID-19 contagion, all in a bid to print result notifications. Governor Yaya Bello of Kogi State has released 10 million naira in support of the burial of the slain victims of Thursday's robbery attack at Isanlu in Kababunu local government area, which claimed no less than 7 lives, including that of the divisional police officer (DPO) in the area. The financial support, according to a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Deputy Governor, Promise Emmanuel, was delivered on behalf of the Governor by his Deputy Chief Edward Onoja on Sunday at his residence. It added that the State Commissioner of Police, Ayuba Ede, was present to receive the money on behalf of the families of the slain victims in the presence of some other state government officials. In sports, The promoter for the Nigerian British-born heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua has stated that the plans for Joshua's fight with Kubrat Pulev at the end of the year will not be threatened by his knee injury. Joshua wore a protective brace on his left knee at a Black Lives Matter march on Saturday while feeling a twinge while training, but his promoter Eddie Hearn confirmed that the injury will not affect Joshua's return despite requiring 4 weeks of rest. Joshua, the IBF, WBA and WBO heavyweight world champion, was initially scheduled to meet his IBF mandatory challenger Pulev on June 20th at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium but owing to the situation around the pandemic, the floating plan is now targeting the final quarter of the year. On the foreign scene, federal prosecutors in Germany on Monday revealed that a 21-year-old man from the German city of Hildesheim, who had threatened to kill Muslims on an internet forum, is facing investigation. Prosecutors alleged that the suspect was apparently inspired by the Christchurch mosque attacker and made reference to the March 2019 shooting in New Zealand, in which 51 people were killed while weapons were found during a raid at his flat, as well as files containing right-wing extremist content. The suspect, who made the threat online on May 29th, was taken into police custody the following day after a court arrest warrant was issued on charges of disturbing the peace by threatening to commit crimes, acquiring weapons, and terrorist financing. And that's the news update at this time on Television Nigeria. Many thanks for watching. I am Charles Ibe.